right there. His right foot was in the right position. And Schalke putting their men up ahead early on in this game. Bremen unable to break the pressure for the opening minutes, and it looks like they finally will get the ball away from the danger zone. And a whistle and a foul, and it will be a free kick to Schalke. Just getting underway here at the Parkstadion. You know, in the Hauptrunde, Schalke has been very strong. They lost their first game against Heidenheim, but then they defeated Bremen, as I mentioned earlier, and then they defeated Bayern, and then Cologne, then got revenge against Heidenheim, in Heidenheim, and then faced Chemnitz twice this month. Once in Chemnitz, that was a 2-0 win, and then here at home, beating Chemnitz by 1-0. Fired ahead on the left side. Bremen trying to find their opening opportunity. Drifting back. Now Höcke sends it ahead. Trying to find an opportunity on that far corner. But Halisioglu fell apart. But a big turnover right here. Chance for Bremen. Drifts out, and it will be a corner. It will be a goal kick. Initially looks like the assistant referee called for a corner. But instead it will be Siebeking to send the ball away. Schalke goalkeeper turned 19 this month, and he has been involved in all but 3 matches. He has been stellar in goal, allowing just 1.3 goals per game and 7 clean sheets this season. And he has just been on fire. When the calendar switched to 2025, he's only allowed 3 goals since February 1st. One in the last 6 contests. So now Schalke trying to play the possession game. Had a few excellent opportunities to get this game started, but Schalke pushed them away, as did that back line for Bremen. Ball trickles out. It will go to Bremen, as the bench said that's our ball, and the referee confirmed, yes, it is your ball. Ball goes out once more in front of the cabin, and this time it will be Schalke's throw-in. You know, Bremen hasn't had quite the success as Schalke has had in the Hauptrunde, but it's not as if they haven't done anything at all. In the semifinals of the Pokal der Junioren, or the German Cup for Juniors, they defeated Freiburg 5-1 and made their first Pokal final ever at the U19 level. They're going to be playing against Karlsruhe in May, looking for their first ever title, their first ever cup at the U19 level. They're very proud. He spent much of his playing days here in Germany, including stops in Wolfsburg, Duisburg, Freiburg, and of course Bremen. He was actually a member of the Democratic Republic of the Congo national team when they went to the 2015 African Cup of Nations. got third place. Sky to the left side, right in front of that Bremen bench. Just keeping possession. But Bremen pushing hard, and they get the turnover. Moving forward. Right in front of goal, beautiful stuff. But that last pass to Musa was a little off target. Couldn't get the touch he wanted. It goes back to Schalke. Bremen content to send the ball all the way back to Schalke. Sends it over to the left side. Errant touch taken away by Schalke. Dardari with the possession. And now sends it back to the backs. 9.5 minutes gone. Still no score. But Schalke certainly with the majority of possession, and here comes another opportunity. Well, it would have been had it not been ruled offsides. Gulassi was just a little bit too far in front for that pass. And he will have to slink back. You know, Gulassi is a pretty fascinating guy. He was born in Sydney, Australia. Played with the Australian U16 team, but now he plays for the Turkey U20 national team. He got called up to the reserves in October for Schalke. He just might be one of the big names to look out for in the future. Now drifting all the way back to Siebeking. Certainly one of the best goalkeepers in Germany's U19 system right now. So a whistle from the referee, and we'll have a throw-in. This one coming from Numbisi. This is 23rd game for the club founded in 1904. Now Bremen pushing it to the right side. Long ball in the air and controlled by the men in white. Schalke nearly had a breakthrough in the opening minutes of this game. Certainly still the stronger side. But Bremen's defense has certainly stood up to the challenge. But they haven't had anything going for them when they have the ball. And Schalke wins possession once more. Slipped forward. Double team on Valentovitz as the ball goes out. Ran out of real estate, and Werder Bremen gets the ball right back. See Coach Elkert's right there, standing with his crossed arms. He's been here for quite some time. He's been coaching this U19 side for almost every single day since 1996. Not to mention he also played in 77 matches for Schalke. I'll let you guess how long ago that was. I'll give you a hint, it was before I was even born. But he still looks pretty darn good for his age. Those young guys must keep him running all over the place. Possession has certainly been in Schalke's favor. A little bit off right there as Bremen will get it back. Looks like they'll get a throw in here. Coming from Osadnik. And whenever they try to go forward, Schalke is just right there. No corners at all for Bremen. Meanwhile, Schalke has had corners on both sides. Ooh, did that stay in? Yes, it just barely did. Good awareness from Siebeking. Now here comes Bremen with an opportunity. At the top of the box, deflected on the pass, and once more, the Schalke backs get in front of the action. Midfield battle won by Bremen. But that low pass was to no one in particular, so Siebeking will take over as we hit the 16th minute here in Gelsenkirchen. Sent forward, and all that Schmidtkens could do was push it out. One more look at this. Big play there from Siebeking. Had to go into the slide tackle to keep the ball in bounds and prevent a corner. You know, his teammates are certainly thankful for all of his efforts. Bremen trying to go ahead, and a big collision at midfield. Ranon taken down to the ground. Now the referee has to come over, and he's going to issue a yellow card. The first one of the game. It's getting pretty windy here in Gelsenkirchen. These two teams, considered traditional teams here in Germany. If you want to know what that is in German, it's a Traditionsverein. Always like to help people learn the language, get a little bit of the lingo. As once again, Bremen cannot get an opportunity. Schalke was trying to go high there, but Bremen sniffed it out. Still no goals in the game, but Schalke has been backing off. Bremen wins possession off the throw-in. They'll get another one in front of their own bench. You know, Macchiati really likes to use the Christmas tree formation, the 4-3-2-1, but today he's going to use the 4-2-3-1. They use that in most of their cup matches, and they never trailed when they use that formation. Good pass on the right side, but excellent awareness and defense from Touré. Kept that ball covered, and no chance for Bremen once more. But it was an excellent idea to try to get some space on the right side. It's now Kata. Fires it forward. Bremen responds. And good movement with the ball. Excellent dribbling from Baum. You know, those are those little things that will get you noticed. And Baum has certainly been noticed. He's expected to join the reserves next season. He hasn't always been on the score sheet. His last assist was back in September. His last goal was back in August. But Macchiati certainly loves his number 14. Throw in for Schalke goes into the box, headed and controlled by the captain, Ade. But another giveaway, and here comes Schalke, pushing up the left. Still with possession. Toure tries to move around his defender, and he cannot, but draws the whistle. Throw in given to the visitors. 20 minutes gone here in Gelsenkirchen. Schalke looking for the opener. Into the box it goes. And headed away by Bremen. Almost a miscue there for Schalke. Launched to the right side, but nobody home. So Schalke going to pick the ball back up and get another goal kick. Schalke with the gegenpressing. Certainly working for them right now. Nubisi with the throw-in. Trickling near the end line. And Schalke will get another throw-in, this time a little bit closer to the corner flag. Referee telling Nubisi, you gotta get a little bit further back. I didn't say that it went out at that close to the flag. Ball stays in, nope. Goes out of bounds before the cross. Good move on the left, but a little bit too much on that pass to Toure. And picked up by Staka. Almost another giveaway, but here comes Bremen sprinting ahead into the attacking half. A little bit too long on that pass. Tried to find Kovic once more, but instead it will go all the way back. Schalke will take control from here. Now Schalke making some moves. On the left side, the shots just off targets. But it took a deflection on the way, so it will be a Schalke corner. So you see the captain Ade putting his right boot in front of the shots, making life difficult for these Schalke attackers. But they had, last time they had a corner from here, they had a few shots, and Schalke had to stand up tall. So another chance for the Royal Blues. In goes the corner to the far post. Schalke had trouble controlling it. Header goes out of bounds. And it will be a goal kick for Bremen. As you saw Schalke right there, he had a little bit of trouble holding on to that corner. And Schalke applying the pressure once more. Still no goals for the home side, but here they come once more. Haddadi pushing it back to midfield as we hit the 25th minute here in Gelsenkirchen. Schalke with the vast majority of the chances. Just kept in bounds. Good work from Touré to keep it in. Now Bremen trying to move ahead. Good find on the left. Osadnik. Now Baum. Over to the right side to Höcke. And it goes out, and Schalke gets the ball once more. Schalke well in control, even when they're not in possession. Bremen just pushed away from getting even close to the other penalty box. Now a long pass back. Kovac was right there. Just keeping an eye on things. All it takes is just one little miscue, and some magic can happen. I mean, Bremen has survived the onslaught that Schalke has given them. Taking corners from both sides. Bremen yet to really offer much of an attack of their own. But they're hanging tough here on the road. Little difficulty controlling the ball there. But Bremen back in possession. The long ball, a little bit too long, but not a bad idea as Osadnik was streaking down the side. I mean, those short buildups for Bremen, those little passes, Schalke has sniffed them out over and over again. So that long low ball would have really worked out if Osadnik could have caught up to it. But it's pretty hard to catch up to those passes. Headed back to the keeper for Bremen. Schalke not doing too bad for his first game in 2025. Mbisi with the throw in for Schalke. Ping-ponged around. And finally Schalke with possession. Good find on the left side. This is a chance. And the left leg boot from Touré gets blocked. Sprint on the right side, nearly won there by Halisioglu. But the push in the back gives the ball back to the Royal Blues. Trickles along the line and out in front of the Bremen bench, and they get the throw in. Little shoving there in front of head coach Macchiotti. Hooker was just trying to tell his opponent to get away. I have the free kick. Ball stays in for Schalke, and they might take advantage right here. Well, it would have been a pretty decent opportunity had Valentovits stayed onside. He had beaten 2 defenders. But you know, that's just a little warning from the center forward, as we've got a whistle and a player down in front of the Bremen bench. Looks like that's Halisioglu. So the referee comes over to check on him. Looks like he just needed a couple more moments to get back to his feet. He should be okay. At least that's from the view up here. So with that opportunity to take a few more seconds, Macchiotti gets to talk to one of his players. Good sportsmanship from Dardari to give the ball back to Bremen off the throw-in. I know that's very common, but I still love to call out good sportsmanship when it happens. On the right, the cross, it's low, controlled. Creeped out of the box. Little mayhem going on. One touch and pushed away. Taken back by Schalke. Couldn't quite get the shot off. Now Bremen gets it back. Trying to push ahead, trying to get away from the Schalke players. And the errant pass goes back to Schalke. Now the throw-in for the men in the white shirts and blue shorts. Sent in by Numbisi. Now Dodari gives it back. The move to the box. And 5 Bremen players just swarmed in on that ball. And a good interception as Osadnik keeps moving. Here he goes. Just try and stop him. Cuts to the right. And the defense finally cuts in front of the ball. And Ziebeking with the gentle roll. That was excellent from Giannis Osadnik. I mean, he can play anywhere on the left. Officially, he's a left back. But he can play at the wing. He can play up top. So long as he's on that left side, he can work wonders. So less than 15 minutes to go here in the first half. Schalke still well in control, but Bremen is starting to try to break through. This free kick looks like it will be taken by Höcke. And fires it forward. Schalke gets back on the ball. Numbisi back on throw-in duties. Interception taken away by Bremen. Ooh, that was almost a great opportunity for Musa. See Macchiati telling his guys to get a move on. He can sense that his team has survived the early storm. Just need to figure out a response. I mean, Osadnik was certainly pivotal to a couple of their opportunities. But now Schalke on the front foot. Dardati pushes it over to the left side. Snuck into the box. And Koulibaly will just let it go out. Another goal kick for Bremen. This one to be taken by Schmeckens. Gives it back to the keeper. Now Koulibaly puts the boot to the ball. Well controlled, well handled by Bremen. They're feeling it right now. 10 minutes away from the halftime whistle, and snagged out of the air. Ziebeking forced to make the big move. Well, that chance might have ended up in the keeper's gloves. But Bremen's starting to press a little bit. Certainly getting their opportunities. Off the free kick. Headed down and controlled by Bremen. Captain tries to keep possession, keep his cool, keep control. Back to the men in green. Now over to Osadnik. One of the top players for Bremen in this half for sure. Gets back on the ball with a little bit of space. Got the captain in front of him. Elects to send it back towards the midfield line. Another chance now to build up, this time in the middle of the field. And a long, very, very late tackle. Draws the yellow card. Schmeckens guilty of the late charge. See, that touch was a little bit too far out in front. I mean, he definitely had to go for it on the ground. But Vozar was coming in and he took the tumble. That was the first yellow card for Bremen. Back in possession now, given away. Now another chance for Bremen. A long shot. Well, it certainly had the heat, but not the direction. Not a bad idea from Kovic, but just got a little bit too far underneath of it. Bremen sensing that they can find something here. They haven't had a shot on target quite yet, but they're certainly testing the waters. Throw into the green and white. Will be taken just off to the side of the Schalke bench. Now Musa falls to the ground. And Schalke gets the throw in. Haven't heard much from Musa today. And he's the top scorer for Bremen. 16 appearances, 16 goals. He's had a goal in every league game that he's been a part of since September 18. But still plenty of time for him to find the back of the net just like that. And a big stop from Siebeking. That was the moment. Well, Bremen had been tantalizing. They've been asking the question. And Siebeking forced to stretch out his entire 1.95 meter frame. Just keeps it a 0-0 game, but Bremen with the corner. In it comes. Headed in front. And taken away by Schalke. The danger cleared for now. But Bremen pounced on the ball before Schalke could go to the midfield stripe. Final 5 minutes of this first half. Schalke had the opportunities early on, but Bremen is smelling blood in the water. Musa breaks away, and the cross was not on target, and Schalke can finally clear it away. Back under control for Bremen in their defensive half of the field. And pushed ahead on the right. Sticking to it on the right flank, Musa. Losing the ball, and here comes Schalke. Toure had the turnover. Now over to the right side, Numbisi elects to give it back. Pretty even matchup here today. Sure, Schalke had the early chances, but the Bremen defense has stood up to them. And Musa had the excellent shot just a couple of minutes ago. Forced Siebeking to stretch all the way out. Pass back from Schalke, and the clear goes out of bounds. Not much distance forward on that one. Way out to the side, and here comes Bremen once more. Osundnik trying to get the next attack started. Off the throw-in. Has three options in front of him. Musa gives it back. Osundnik's offering left begging. Now Schalke trying to break free on the right. Gulassi trying to push his way through two defenders, but lost it to the third. Now Bremen trying to keep it in and just could not. Lisioglu just could not get the touch he wanted. Two minutes until we get the halftime whistle, unless there is added time, of course. Not a bad idea from the captain. But it went right to Siebeking. Sent ahead on the left. And Bremen gets back on the right foot. Fed to the captain. Now it's all the way back near the stripe. Bremen unable to find any room on the right. Lifted forward, nicely done off the attempt. And that shot was way off to the wayside. But not a bad idea from Ramon. Ramon has 8 goals and 18 appearances for Bremen. Scored in all the cup matches that he was in, including 2 in the last one in the semifinals in their win over Freiburg. And Sibu King telling everybody, get out of my face. I'm going to send this as deep as I can. As Sibu King puts the left boot to the ball. Ball trickles out, and it will be a throw-in for Schalke. Let's see if we'll have any added time here. Just 60 seconds added on to the first half. Not a bad idea from Zgorecki. But Bremen gets back in front. Taking possession away. Final 30 seconds of this first half. Bremen trying to figure out if they can get an opportunity here. And a whistle will stop everything for Bremen. A little too much shirt pulling for the referee's liking. So Schalke will take their time getting the free kick ready. Referee might call an end to the half as soon as the ball goes in the air. Stays on the ground on the left side. The 1 minute of added time is gone. Pushed on the right side. And all the way back to the Schalke keeper. And now the referee will call for halftime. A good start for Schalke, but Bremen had a couple of chances near the end of that first half. Still anybody's game, no goals here in Gelsenkirchen after 45 minutes. Parkstadion here in Gelsenkirchen, just a couple moments away from getting the second half started between the U19 sides of Schalke and Bremen. No goals on the board, but that wasn't for a lack of trying. Schalke had a few early shots, but Schalke was strong in the nets. And meanwhile, Musa forced Siebeking to stretch out all the way just before the halftime break. So it's still 0-0 here in the former stadium for the senior squad for Schalke. Hard to believe that this stadium was actually used in the 1974 World Cup when it was in West Germany way back when, and then in the 1988 Euros. A couple of matches took place here, including the home side, West Germany, taking on Denmark, as well as the Netherlands going up against Ireland. The Netherlands, of course, winning that tournament in the end, much to the disappointment of the Germans. Because if you know your rivalries, your international rivalries, England may like to say that Germany's very upset about England whenever they play against one another, but in fact, the big rivalry for Germany is actually with the Netherlands. Just a little heads up there, and that's the only title that the Netherlands has won on the international stage. So teams switch sides, going the opposite ways for the rest of this contest. Schalke coming in at the top of the table with 18 points in 7 matches. Meanwhile, Bremen has 6 points in 6 matches. So Schalke trying to get cooking here in the opening couple of minutes. And now here comes Bremen on the other side. Here they come on the attack. The long shot goes right into Siebeking's stomach. He holds on strong and is nonchalant about just waiting to throw it, and he'll send it out of bounds, as there might be an injury back near midfield, as there was, it looked like Vozar was still on the ground. Took his boot off and now retying his shoe. Good awareness from the keeper and from the referee to stop proceedings for a moment. And now we're back underway. Siebeking really only called upon once in the opening half, but when he was needed, he answered the call. An excellent near post stop on Musa. And a little stop-start action in the opening minutes of this second half. Schalke on a 6-game winning streak here in the Hauptrunde. Certainly looking to keep it alive. As you hear Elgertz there, member of the Schalke Hall of Fame. He will be with this U19 side for 30 years next year. He will have been with this team since before these guys' parents got together, as the cross gets knocked up into the air. Controlled by Bremen. Trying to work from back to forward. Finally sent ahead, but Musa was off balance And goes back to Schalke as we get a little bit of sunshine here in Gelsenkirchen in the shadows of the Veltins Arena. And the Veltins Arena also hosting a few matches in a World Cup and a Euro. Of course, that being the 2006 World Cup and the Euro 2024 competition. You know, Elgert has so many accolades. I mean, if you're here for almost 3 decades, you better get at least a little bit of hardware. He won the U19 championship in 2006, 2012, and 2015. And he coached 4 members of the World Cup winning team in 2014, including Özil, Neuer, Hövedes, and Draxler. Throw in for Schalke in front of the bench and right in front of Elgert. I mean, he's a fantastic coach, but it must be terrifying having him right behind you. Getting more than a front row seat to what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Now Bremen find themselves on the front foot. Musa just couldn't get past the Schalke captain in Nehan, but they get it right back. And that pass was a little bit too far out in front for Bremen's number 11. Bremen working from left to right on your screen. Now Schmidtgens taking his time. Had plenty of space, plenty of time. Back to Starke. Just kept in, but fired forward by Schalke. Here's a golden opportunity for them. But good defense at the end. Koulibaly gets in front of the pass from Valentovic. But still a corner for Schalke. They had a few of those back in the first half. Bremen just had one. So as Gorecki prepares himself to fire it in. Sends it near post and pushed away by the captain of Bremen. Ball trickles out. Last touch by Halisioglu. So it goes back to Schalke. Umbisi to throw it in. Semi-local, if you will. He was born in Münster. So certainly from the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. But if you know anything about the German game, you know that everybody here in the Ruhr Valley does not like each other. Good. Ball goes out, and you heard the Schalke players going, Ecke, 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 corner, corner, corner. And they were right. going right through, right in the middle of the warm-up area for the Bremen substitutions. Little cheeky there as the corner sent in. This one going far post, and a good header, and another one from the defense. Alessioglu just taking his opponent down. That was Touré, who had his shirt pulled and nearly taken off. You know, he missed the last game against Bremen because he was called up for the national team, the U17 national side. Ready to send it in. Kept along the ground. Dottie sends it into the box. Still a chance for Schalke. Here they come. And the big shot is stopped. One more chance. Still loose and finally pushed away by the defense. And now they have a chance to break free. A little bit too slow on the counter. And Schalke is able to set up their defense. Near the penalty area, now on the right side, trying to fire in the cross. And Hücke gets taken down. Schalke back in control. Valintovich was double teamed there. Now Bremen with an opportunity, with a shot, and it goes begging, but it will be a corner, as that was a big deflection off the shot from Musa. Musa looking so comfortable, even though he was surrounded, absolutely surrounded by Schalke defenders. You saw 5 in total, including the keeper. He had that big shot in the first half. Back under control for Bremen as that pass goes into the air and well behind the line. So goal kick for the Royal Blues. See a couple of them getting warmed up, getting ready to potentially be called upon later in the game. Fired forward from the keeper. But it finds the foot, or feet, of the Bremen players, I should say. Still under control by the men in the green and whites. But now finally, Schalke gets back on top of the ball. Kept in lovely stuff on the left side from Gulassi. Gets double teamed, keeps it in. But the pass back was a little bit off target. I mean, he certainly had to get rid of it. But nobody home for that pass, and now Bremen trying to clear it, but taken away. Gashi cannot keep possession. And the pass from Ade goes out. Some miscommunications for both these sides, keeping them off the score sheet. Good challenge from Ade, gives it back to Bremen. And the shirt pull will result in a free kick. Ayhan, the captain, getting a little too much cotton on the shirts. Now Hücke sends it over. And gets the throw in, applying the pressure on Gulassi once more. To the right side, Hooker looking to cross. In it comes and deflected in the air. Headed around. Bremen gets it back in the box. One more cross. And it's smothered by Siebeking. Bremen getting some chances of their own. Now a third potential substitute working out behind the far post. Looks like they've all been called over by Coach Elgert. Going to have to run a little bit more after switching sides here in the second half. And the ball goes out of bounds. Still nobody putting in any substitutions yet. As we enter the final half hour of play here in Gelsenkirchen. Way too far for anybody for Schalke. And so now Bremen can take their time moving the ball up the field. No real pressing coming from the home team. Only Valentovic was there telling his guys, come on, let's go. We need the ball back. If we don't have the ball, we don't score. Now Bremen going forward. Schmeckens over to Hooker. Bremen keeping it on the ground. Hooker losing it a little bit too far in front of the pass. And it goes back to Schalke. Good move from Gashi. The attempted pass was a bit too far for Gulassi. A man who comes from a land down under, but plays for Turkey. If I can give you some personal tidbits, I actually lived in Sydney, which is where Gulassi was born. Lived in Sydney for 6 months. Even though the rent was outrageous, having to spend almost $2,000 for a share house as a free kick is given to Bremen and a yellow card is shown. It's $2,000 Australian for that room in the share house without air conditioning and a back door that wouldn't close all the way so spiders could waltz in whenever they wanted. I still miss it. Absolutely lovely place to be. As Bremen looks like they're getting ready to send on a substitute. That would be Rev Begnagi. Getting last instructions from Macchiati. Meanwhile, back on the field, Osnadnik is standing over the ball. He might go for it here. It's about 22, 23 yards out. 2 on the ball for Bremen. Osnadnik gets it into it, and he cannot keep it down. The left foot a little bit too strong on that attempt. Looks like we might have our substitutions, and here they come. So Halisioglu comes off. Ref Begnagi comes on. Numbisi and Dardai coming off. It looks like 3 substitutions coming on for Schalke here. We'll try to get you those substitutions as soon as we can. Well, Bremen trying to make things happen. And a hard, hard foul. Good work from Renan to come over to check on his opponent. A well-deserved yellow card for that challenge. As Gorecki was taken down, grabbed his right ankle. But it looks like he'll be all right. So 25 minutes left here in Gelsenkirchen. Both sides still looking for one goal. Gorecki sends it forward. Touré on the left side. Fired forward. Now Bremen trying to catch Schalke on their back heel, but a little bit too far for Renan. Renan still looking for his first goal here in the Hauptrunde. Slip behind, Valentovitz was nearly there. Still Schalke in possession, however. Touré to throw it in. So after this game, Schalke has 2 more games in the Hauptrunde against Bayern and Cologne. As the cross goes in, headed out near the penalty spot. Ooh, that was a tantalizing effort. It had beaten Schalke, but just couldn't keep it inside the post. Vosa nearly giving Schalke the lead with his left foot. Excellent catch out of the air. Did everything right, just couldn't find its way inside the post. Now Schalke putting some gegenpressing on once more. They had backed off earlier in the half, but the gegenpressing is working here. Trying to push on the right side. But Schalke still with possession, even though the ball goes back into their defensive half. But that gives them a little bit of time to regroup and rethink about what they want to do. Sky to the left side. A little bit too far. That was Gashi who was trying to keep the ball down. Instead, now it goes over to Schalke, trying to get the offense going for Bremen. Good move from the back. Sending it forward, Renan. Working on the yellow. And now the substitute sends it into the box. Knocked around and just cleared by the defense. Bremen still on the ball, putting the pressure on. Fired in towards the far post. And just a hair in front of Erev Benyagi. And things cooling off as that ball goes behind the line for a goal kick for Schalke. So just 2 more games remaining for Schalke in the Hauptrunde, as I mentioned. Against Bayern next Sunday, and then the following Saturday against Cologne here in Gelsenkirchen. Now, as for Bremen, they have 3 more. They're playing their makeup game against Bayern on Wednesday. And then on Sunday, they are playing in Cologne. And they end off the Hauptrunde at home against Heidenheim. chance for Bremen. Pass gets knocked out, and it will lead to a corner for the men in green. We've hit the final 20 minutes here in the Ruhr Valley. Bremen players really crowning that 6-yard box, and it goes, and it finds a Schalke foot instead. Stays on the ground to the right side. The sub sends it in near the far post, and it goes into the back of the net. He found Ade streaking in, and finally, Bremen breaks the deadlock. Well, it took 70 minutes plus, but Bremen gets on the board. The Bremen captain giving his side the lead as the low cross found Ade at the far post. Gives a big thank you to Rev Benagi. Certainly proving his worth here today with that big assist. And now Bremen, they are threatening to beat Schalke's U19 side for the first time ever. Less than 20 minutes away from that. Now you should expect a little bit more urgency from the Schalke side. They had been taking things relatively easy when they have possession. But now that they're behind on the scoreboard, they can't do that. Now moving forward, going into the box with the turn. Pass in front, this shot, and a big save, and pushed away by the defense. Schalke denies another chance for Schalke. And Schalke really looking stock in goal. As Vosar right there with the turn. The pass in front to Valentovic. But Schalke was right there. That last line of defense for Bremen looking so strong today. You know, he started the season allowing 5 goals in 2 games. But it looks like he has matured. He's made all the right decisions, been in the right place at the right time. As you see right there, he kept his eyes on the ball and then moved a little bit over those couple of half steps. Put him in the right spot to put his gloves on the ball. So now expect Schalke to just come attacking from here on out. Schalke in danger of watching their 6-game winning streak fly away. So Schalke gets back on possession. Trying to find the equalizer, but the offsides call will stop proceedings. You know, that's the first goal that Schalke has allowed since March the 1st. Well, Bremen's defense has certainly stymied the Schalke attack all day today. As Schalke's, they've got 15 minutes to find an equalizer, to salvage a point at home. All it takes is one quick moment of awareness and recognition, and that's what Bremen had. Now trying to double their lead. A little too strong, and now free kick to the home team. Well, it looks like the scoreboard operator didn't get the message. Still says 0-0, as you see right there at the top right corner. But Bremen absolutely has a goal. Schalke trying to force their way forward. Couldn't quite get the link up there, but they still have possession on the right side. Bremen defenders dropping back into the box as Osadnik pushes it out. Schalke looks like they want the long throw in here. And in it comes, going near post, dribbled around and almost sneaking past Schalke. He let it go past him, but it went into the side netting. Well, that was just a little dribbler, a gentle bouncer. But if that had gone about a meter to the left, Schalke would have had his face in his hands. Schalke winning possession once more, but the pass was a little bit too far forward, left much to be desired. And the men in the white and blue still can't find an answer, a response to the Ade goal. Bremen gets back on the ball. Inside the circle at midfield. And now a big foul, big collision. And another yellow card is shown. This time to a Schalke player. So now the referee has to come over and make certain everything is under control. So Ranon getting back to his feet. And looks like two more substitutions coming on for Schalke. Schalke already using 3. The assistant referee just making certain that everything is appropriate with the uniforms, making certain everybody knows what's going on, and making certain he knows who's going in for who. So the final 11 minutes of play here in Gelsenkirchen as the free kick remains under Bremen control. Good find on the right, fired to the far post. And Schalke's defense clamps down once more. Hücke trying to move through the forest, but the trees get in the way. And now Schalke going the other way. Still up on his feet, and now it's going down. Bremen getting back on the offense as Toure is still down on the ground. Last 10 minutes here in Gelsenkirchen. Bremen can double their lead. It looks like they're going to be sportsmen about it and kick it out, as Osman Toure needed some extra time to come back up to his feet after the hard challenge. Get another look at it right here. Toure with the turn. Got past the captain, but could not get past Koulibaly. It's now Koulibaly. Hard to believe he's 17 and he's so tall, as the pass to the captain was on target, but Ade's touch was not on target. Just needed a cleaner touch, and he could have doubled his goal total today. But now Schalke trying to put pedal to the metal, trying to force their way forward on the right flank. Bad giveaway as Ade stepped in front. But Schalke gets it back. On the left side, the substitute makes a fool out of a Bremen defender. Fires it into the box. And Osadnik gets it out. One last extra touch just to make certain. Now the referee is going to come over to check on the Bremen player. And the training staff has been called to take a look at him. They're down a goal, but they're not too concerned, the Schalke players, but I think that Coach Elgert saw that and said, "Why are you smiling? We're losing." I mean, I know there's really not much that you can do from the bench, but so you have to show your supports. As that was Kovac, who is the injured Bremen player. So he'll get some treatment off to the side. Throw in, going into the box, skied high. One more chance. And another deflection. Koulibaly on the call once more. In front of the box, Schalke desperate for an equalizer. Koulibaly's clearance left much to be desired as it bounces out behind the end line, and Schalke gets a corner. The captain Ehan calling for his teammates to bring more pressure forward, as we're well into the final 10 minutes of this contest. Just 6 minutes before added time now. Corner sent in, right in front, and Bremen standing strong once more. Ball skied into the box and taken care of by Schalke with ease. Well, personally, Schalke has been my most valuable player in this game. He's been so strong in the pipes, as the chance in front is stopped by the defense, but Bremen back on the ball. Kovac watches his cross get deflected out, and it will be a corner for the men in green. So now the 6th and final substitution for Schalke. And Bremen sending on a substitute of their own. So Mbach is coming on, taking over for Ranon. Mbach was only involved in the last two Hauptrunde matches as the corner gets whipped in. And Siebeking had a little bit of trouble, but finally getting back on the ball and firing it forward, trying to find someone deep. Not a terrible idea, as Bremen was a little slow to get back on defense. Finally, they recovered. Last 4 minutes now for Schalke, looking for that equalizer, trying to go on the right side, fired at goal. And it couldn't go inside the near post. That near post has just been so frustrating for Schalke today. Good moves to get into the penalty area. Absolutely beat Schalke. But still they can't find their way inside the post. Bremen still holding on to that 1-0 lead, but you can feel it starting to slip. Schalke will be putting even more pressure on Schalke. And here they come once more. Good turn at the top of the box. And cleared again by the Bremen defense. Good pass, good find. Right in front, less than 3 minutes until added time. Bremen looking to double their lead. And Baum's shot took off like a rocket to the moon. No danger, no trouble for Siebeking. Now this is an unusual position for Schalke as of late, working from behind. They haven't had to do that in nearly 2 months. And I know they must be absolutely gassed. I mean, they're still in front, and they will be in front after this game no matter what, as they are 5 points clear of Cologne for second in the A-League. But how big would this be for Bremen if they can keep this result? They have the potential to leapfrog Heidenheim and get into fourth. But Schalke moving into the penalty area. One more chance with the left foot. Ooh, that had beaten Schalke, but they couldn't get it inside the outside post now. Corner kick to Schalke. As Schalke put out his mitts and pushed the shot aside. Fossart to send it in. Looks like some rain coming down here. Header off targets. Just a few more moments until we find out how much added time there is as Schalke takes a tumble on the goal kick. Rain really starting to come down now. Things getting pretty slippery out there. Bremen holding off on trying to double their lead. And a big collision, big tumble. Gives the ball back to Schalke. Referee making certain that the free kick is taken in the correct spots, much to the chagrin of the home team. So now Ziebeking will fire the ball forward. Still waiting on how much time we have left. 3 minutes remaining here in the Parkstadion. Ziebeking fires it forward, trying to find a friend deep. Instead, Bremen heads it away and now fully clears it to the other side of the field. Musa gets underneath it and controls it. Gets pushed down from behind, and that will be a free kick to Bremen. Final substitution most likely upcoming for Bremen, as they're bringing on Koskun to take over for Musa. This is Koskun's 16th appearance. He's always played since February 23rd. So Bremen taking some more time off the clock with that substitution. Less than 2 minutes for Schalke to find an equalizer. And Bremen just feels like they can and will take as much time as they can. Halfway through the added time, as the rainbow falls to Ziebeking. His clearance leaves much to be desired. Slipped off the boot. And Ade called for the foul. Tried to head the ball. Instead found a Schalke player underneath of him, and he's called for the yellow card. So now with the final minute underway, Ziebeking moving forward. Everybody up for Schalke. Ziebeking to the right side. One last chance for Schalke, and the opportunity at the far post was just too much. Just a little bit off target. Excellent job to find the man at the far post. But Ade's pressure made that attempt go wide. So now Schalke takes his time, finally sends it away. As the rain makes things a little bit tricky here in the waning moments of this game. Schalke just moments away from losing here at home, and tripped up by Höcke. This will be the last chance for Schalke. Fozar going to send in the free kick. Here it comes, last chance for the home side. Knocked down in front, trickled over to Schalke, who falls on top of it. A job well done for the Bremen keeper. And it looks like he will get his first clean sheet of the year. His first game since August has been fantastic. But the referee is allowing a little bit more time. The 3 minutes are up. Giving Schalke one last chance, but that pass was well off target. Goal kick for Schalke, goal kick for Bremen. Into the 4th minute of added time now. Schalke sends it away and sends Schalke away with no points. Bremen with the big win here in Gelsenkirchen. The 1 goal from the captain, enough to take all 3 points back to the north. Well, Schalke had the early opportunities, but Bremen just kept on trying and finally got the breakthrough within the last 20 minutes of the game. And thanks to the captain, Wesley Ade, Bremen are victors. But you got to give it up for the keeper, Schalke. This is his first game in more than 6 months, and he was well up to the challenge, keeping Schalke off the board the entire 90 minutes. So Schalke still leads everybody in the league with 18 points, but Bremen coming a little bit closer now with 9 points in the Hauptrunde. So that will do it for us here in Gelsenkirchen. One last time, Bremen winning 1-0 over Schalke. Hope you had as much fun as I did today. And until we meet again, as Bill and Ted once said, be excellent to each other. So long, take care, and goodbye from Gelsenkirchen.